Good morning. It's just after 7:30. We are getting a late start, but we have about a week and a half of travel ahead of us, and we're going to Michigan and Colorado, all from Minnesota. Let's hit the road and we'll talk about it. Joan, are you ready to go? All right, let's roll. It is 7:53. We are charged up to 100%. Here are our stats right now. We're climbing closer to 100,000 miles over the next week and a half. So lots of adventure. Let's go. Finally merging onto the highway here at 8:11. On this leg of the trip, we are headed to Muskegon, Michigan for the Michigan Tesla Owners Summer Meetup, and excited to see everyone there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Rather than head through Wisconsin and go down around Lake Michigan past Chicago and hit all that traffic, I've never been to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, the UP, so this is an opportunity for us to drive that way. So we're going to head through Wisconsin and go north and come across the top of the lake and camp right where the intersection of Lake Huron and Lake Michigan is. And then tomorrow morning we'll go over the bridge and down toward Muskegon. So big day of driving today. Right now it's saying we're going to get to the state park we're camping in at about 5:20 tonight. That might involve a time change, but we'll find out as we go. No big rush today other than getting to the state park so we can set up our tent in the daylight. But we're almost to the summer solstice, so we've got daylight till very late. I think it's saying we've got 3 charge stops, which seems ambitious, but I'm okay with that. We are going to need to get out and stretch a little bit, but first we got to get around the Twin Cities and into Wisconsin. We just crossed over into Wisconsin. The roads are opening up. Good news for traffic going forward. Before we even got on the highway, we saw an Ioniq 5. A Mustang Mach-E was right behind us for a little bit. Got on the highway and a Leaf pulled out in front of us, and then drove past another Ioniq 5. So lots of EVs on the road, obviously Teslas too, but that's kind of common already. Pretty exciting to see a good variety. Now, I had charged up to 100%. I got to 100% just before we left home, which is how you want to handle it for road trips. But then when I plugged our destination in, it started preconditioning the battery for about 10 minutes. So I suppose as we were slow charging toward the top, there wasn't really much heat being generated, just as the cells all balanced out. I did switch over to miles to see what the car was thinking its range was when I was at 100%, and it was saying 282. So obviously that's a lot lower than the 330 than when we bought it, but I think it's also balanced toward how I've been driving over the last 88,000 miles. So, and again, that's just what the car estimates. That's not, real world highway speed. But just last week we did over 200 miles on a mostly full charge. Still better than usually our bladders can handle. It's still fine. When I hit 100,000 miles, I'll do another, real range test. That's going to be at least, 4 weeks away. We've got the beautiful rolling hills of Wisconsin ahead of us, so it'll be fun to see that. Hopefully the weather clears up a little bit, but it's nice and cool, 70 degrees and overcast right now, so we'll take that until we head north and want to see some fun stuff. Last night I got 4 hours of sleep, non-consecutive, so I'm grateful to have autopilot helping out and FSD doing the hard work and just being able to monitor and make sure everything's in line. We're running 12.3.6. We still haven't got 12.4 yet. Maybe that'll show up on the trip. We can compare on the way home. Here we are in Wausau, Wisconsin. 10:49. That last trip was 196 miles. We're here with 15%. Average energy of 281, and we were going 77 most of the way. We're going to plug in here. Right now it's estimating 30-minute charge time. We need to get out and stretch. We'll see if it's really 30 minutes or not. I have a feeling this is a V2 at the Hilton Garden Inn. Yep, this is a V2, so not going to be the fastest, but that's all right. We've been on the road for almost 3 hours and could use a break and a stretch. So this will turn green in a second and should ramp up pretty fast. I'm used to the V3s and they're a lot quicker. Ramping up. This is 150 max, so 144 is pretty good. Looks like we peaked there, but that's okay. Let's get out and stretch. Oh, hi. How's it going? We could have used the restrooms in the Hilton, I'm sure, but we had the time and we're looking for some snack variety, so walked across the street to the BP. The road can be pretty busy, so be careful, especially with kids. Nice to see the Hilton resurface their lot in stages to always leave some chargers open. All right, we're up to 75%, saying 10-minute estimated charge time to continue. We're still at 71 kilowatts, so 70 kilowatts, so not too bad. Joan's having a little breakfast, even though it's almost 11:30. We've had a weird morning. Okay, we just got finished up here, and it's at 85%, saying we have enough to continue our trip. We'll get to the next charger with 8%, which is enough. We've got a tailwind, and we can always slow down if we need to. Leaving Wausau and headed to Escanaba and ready to roll. Pulling out of Wausau Supercharger. It's a V2. We were there about a half an hour, which seems like a long time, but by the time we walked over to the BP and back, Joan had a drink and a snack she's still working on. The time went by pretty fast, and it was good to get out and stretch. Luckily, although it was a V2, everyone was able to space out, so we had gaps between the cars. Nobody was sharing power, and just as we were leaving, somebody else was pulling in. So, good timing. Ready to get back on the road, feeling a little bit more refreshed. Let's cross the rest of Wisconsin. Checking in now that we're on the road. It's saying we're going to arrive at Escanaba with 8%. It's going to take just over 3 hours, so we'll stop and probably get some lunch before then. At least drive through, maybe do another restroom stop. That puts us in Escanaba around 2:30, and I think that's pretty good. And then once we're up in that area, we'll start doing some exploring as we drive, and we're going to cross the date line, I think, around there too. So we'll lose an hour, but we're doing okay as long as the roads stay clear and we have good weather. Car's doing well. We're just over 88,700 miles. That's good too. We'll see you down the road. Well, this is interesting. We jumped off the highway here, and it looks like that main highway 29 headed south into Green Bay. And since we're going north, we got off on a couple county roads, and we're zigzagging northeast instead. So presumably this will be more efficient. Well, it'll be more efficient because we're going slower, but hopefully we tie up with bigger roads heading north of Green Bay. So we might be avoiding some traffic there. So that's always interesting, but we'll trust the nav and assume we can make it. Right now it's saying arrival at Escanaba with 10%. Alright, a little pit stop here in Oconto at the McDonald's. We just got on the highway again, and this was the next exit. So that works okay, but you know, when talking about EV charging, It takes so long. I didn't look at the time when we got here, but I feel like we just spent 15 to 20 minutes just getting food, using the restroom, all the rigmarole, family travel. On a day like today, it doesn't matter. If there were a charger nearby, we would have just incorporated that into our trip and killed two birds with one stone. But we've still got an hour and 42 minutes before we need a charge, and that will be in Escanaba as we get close to the lake. So looking forward to that. It was nice to have a little break after an hour or so on the road and time for food. So we got a good crosswind as we go north, and we'll see how that treats us. Saying we'll get to Escanaba with 9%, which is plenty. Let's do it. Menominee. Welcome to Michigan. This is Joan's first time in Michigan. We are almost at 2 p.m. and we've just made it into Michigan 10 minutes ago or so, and we are starting to go around Lake Michigan. So I don't know if the dash cam is going to get this yet, but we're starting to see it behind houses, and it's just off to our right. So we're skirting along the western edge of the lake and the northern edge of the lake, and we've got 54 minutes left to Escanaba, and we'll see if there's a good park or something we might pull off and do a little exploring before then. I'd like to get that charge out of the way too, so we'll play it by ear. There's going to be other places to stop, and obviously tonight we're going to be right by the bridge, so we'll be between the lakes, get more time in. It's 82 degrees out and we're just cruising, saying we'll get to Escanaba with 10%. We are 7 minutes away from the Escanaba Supercharger. We just started preconditioning. Joan is ready to get out of the car and stretch. This has been a long trip, this stretch. It's going to be a long charge, but we need a good break out of the car. So that will work out fine. Hopefully we get good charging speeds. I'm not sure if this is a V3 or V2, but it doesn't matter. It's the one that's here, so we'll use that. And then I think there's another brand charger here too, but we're just going to use the Tesla one. It's easy, and I've got free supercharging. We might be too far from the lake to explore the lake right now, but on this next stretch we're going to get out and do a little more exploring between here and the campsite. Alright, we are in Escanaba, estimating 20 minutes, but we want to get to the state park with more buffer so we don't have to charge until the morning, because that's across the bridge. This last stretch since McDonald's was 92 miles, but since our last charge was 185 miles, and about 3 hours or so. It's 2:51. We're here with 11%, it's 77 degrees Fahrenheit, but yeah, like I said, about 3 hours since we left our last charge. So we're at a Meijer. That's nice. We can pick up some supplies here and spend some time. I'm surprised and delighted that this is a V3 station, so we should get max speed. We did just about 5 to 10 minutes of preconditioning, and we're already up to about 100 kilowatts. It should keep bumping up. I'm not going to watch it. We're going to walk. Are you ready to have fun the rest of the day? All right. Here, there's another charger over there. By the time we were getting into the checkout line, the car was ready to go. We're right on the cusp of the time zone here, so you can see the phone thinks it's 4:19 while the car is still in the 3 o'clock hour. But after getting out to the car, repacked and settled, we were up to 93%, and 40 minutes had passed. But we did find a new camp chair. All right, it's 3:32. We're finally ready to go. It's 93%. And saying we'll get to the state park with 32, which is just perfect. So I'm going to unplug here. Thank you, Meijer, for hosting. Now comes the fun part. Just just leaving the Meyer, and the Tesla shareholder meeting just started, so I'm going to listen in on that. We're going to find a cool pull-off somewhere along the lake or at a state park or somewhere and do a little bit of exploring. This is the fun part of the trip now that we're up in the UP, and we're going to enjoy that, head to our campsite, get there before too late tonight so we can kind of explore that area too. And in the morning, we'll cross the bridge and start our adventure through the main part of Michigan. Here we go. We just had a little pull off and dipped our feet in a really shallow area. It's a little musty smelling, but the water was clear and moving, so good place to get out, splash around for a little bit. We're 92 miles away from the campsite. It's saying an hour and a half, so we'll get there, get camp set up, have some dinner, and then go exploring under the bridge. So excited for that. But on our way back, I'm seeing a lot of like roadside parks and little beaches and stuff. So if we're making good time on Monday coming back, we'll hit some more of these and just enjoy ourselves. But next stop should be the campground. Be us, 161. Alright, Joan's getting settled in. We just got here to the campsite and we've gone 143 miles, average energy of 267. It's down to 67 degrees now that we're near the lake. We're at 33%, 7:25 p.m. And then those are our overall stats. We'll check back in with those when I can do some math. We've got a plug here. Looks just like 110 for us, but that's plenty. We'll just get a little bit overnight. Did you like dinner? Peanut butter jelly sandwiches? Oh, good. Do you want to go see that big bridge? Okay, let's go. Postcard views for a great ending to a 524-mile driving day, and the exact reason why we broke the drive up here. I'll add links in the description with info on the Mackinac Bridge and this campground, but after a while the bugs were starting to get bad and Joan's patience for my keeping her out of the water was wearing thin. Time to head back up the hill to the campsite, but as we walked I kept seeing these tiny 1.5-inch long sticks along the road. A closer look and we found they were friendly little slugs out for an evening's ooze. By 10 p.m. we'd already gained 5%, and for the most part had a quiet and comfortable night. I woke up early and was able to back up footage and have coffee while Joan slept in. Really nice facilities here, and although the sites are small and close together, we still felt like we had our own space. I think that's partially due to good neighbors and also to low greenery shielding some of our view. Once Joan was up, she had cold breakfast while I packed up the tent. Joan, did you have a good night last night? No? Baby? Yes? Okay. Are you ready for a fun day with the big lakes today? Yeah? All right. Should we go? Okay. Good morning. It's almost 8:15. We got up to 55% trickle charging last night. So pretty good. I think we got here with 33 or 35 or something. Here are our stats for the morning, and I don't have anything to say about that. So the game plan for today is to head across the Mackinac Bridge, which should be pretty cool, and then Supercharge, do a quick splash in Lake Huron to say we did it, and then head over toward Muskegon and do some exploring on the way. We don't actually have to check in. We can't check in until 3 p.m. this afternoon, so we've got time to kill. So we're just going to take it easy today and get over by that lake. Just navigated to the campground, and it's saying one charge stop in Gaylord, Michigan. We're going to hit the one in Mackinaw, just across the bridge, just to hit it. But interesting, it was saying we could do this whole trip with only 3 charge stops, so that's pretty nice. We'll see where we go from here. Here we go, bridge. Look how high we are over the water. We're gonna go even higher. We're up by the birds. Did you see that seagull fly by? We're gonna go up even higher. Holy cow. Through the ceiling as we go under it. Oh, wow. Holy cow. This is called a suspension bridge because these big towers have these green... Can you look up? See the green cables? They're holding the bridge up. They're all suspended from these big towers. Holy cow! We're up so high. We're coming to the top. I think this is as high as the bridge gets right here. Whoa. And the big tower's right over our heads. Wow. There's a boat. So, do you see the boat down in the water? It's going to be coming up on your right. I don't know if you can. Bye-bye, boat. I hope you catch lots of fish. Alright, Mackinaw City, 8:47, 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Lake Huron's right there. Just made it over the bridge. That was beautiful. Not really any point in showing the trips right now, but 8 miles, no big deal. We're going to plug in just so we can explore. We didn't really need to charge now, but we want to check out Lake Huron to say we did it. You can see in the background the Supercharger is right next to the parking for the Mackinac Island Ferry. We tried to walk out to the end of the pier, but you can't without a ticket. You'll see we walked along the shore a bit towards some of the hotels, but it felt a little intrusive not being a guest, so we didn't get too close. We got magic docks here. Wasn't expecting that. It's a good V3. All right, rolling. Let's get that girl out. We want to walk out into the lake. This is Lake Huron. I don't know if I've ever been in this lake. Joan certainly hasn't until right now. Michael, wash your hands off. Wash that sand out of your hands. I have no idea what we charged up to. Did a little splashing in the lake, and Joan fell in, well, at least on her butt, so had to change clothes. And now we're getting ready to roll. We got to be around 90% or something. 91, so that's good. We'll just get on the road. We are cruising down the interstate 75 it looks like. Speed limit has been 75, so people have been going about 80, which has been fine, but I realize we are plowing dead center down the lower peninsula of Michigan, and what we want to do is head west so we can come down the shore of Lake Michigan. So looking for a good spot where we'll be able to pull off. There were a couple of rest areas and things, intersections I could have pulled off on. I just thought, well, why stop early? Well, we're making tracks, but that's why we should have stopped early, so we could hit those crossroads. But I do need to actually stop because I need to find a different charging plan. I think I'd sorted it out on a better route planner before we got here, but forgot to double check that this morning. Right now we're just headed straight south, but we're gonna head west here pretty quick, figure out a plan. But it's a beautiful day. The bridge was cool, splashing in Lake Huron quickly was cool. So once I have a plan, I'll let you know what the plan is. Alright, so we are going to go to Traverse City, and then that should get us all the way there. If we need to stop on the way down, we can hit this one too. But I just kind of want to go along the lake. Stopped at a rest stop just in time. I'm going to run out, use the restroom, and then we'll continue on our way. But skipping Cadillac, which is, I don't know, like here. And it's nice woods, but not the lakes we came to see. So that's the plan. We'll get back on the road in a couple minutes. I'm wearing the right shirt for it. Let's adventure. See what this is all about. It's a rest area just south of Vanderbilt on 75, and it had a path up to a nature trail, and you're not seeing the photo of the scenic view because it was that just standard view. It was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. Maybe in the fall when all the leaves are changing, it's exceptional, but we were just kind of up on a hill looking at some other hills. There wasn't really anything definitive to look at. I wouldn't suggest, unless you're like need to stretch or something, there's no point hiking up there. It's not far, but not even worth getting a photo, I didn't think so. But they did have a jug filler water spigot, so hopefully that water is good, because I did top our water jug off. We'll see. Results may come in tomorrow, how that plays out. But we got a couple more miles on 75, and then it looks like we're going to take off and start heading west and get to the coastline. So excited for that. Alright, after a lot of stoplights, we are at Traverse City, Michigan. It's saying 10 minutes, but that's going to get us just to the park. and we're going to make some stops along the way. We need to grab some lunch. We are at a Meijer, and this is a V2, so we can take a little time here. It's not going to be the end of the world. That last trip was 119 miles, 268 watt-hours per mile, and so far with the wheel covers, we're getting 274, even with some 80-mile-an-hour roads going uphill. So I'm feeling pretty good about how that's going. We'll check in after we charge. Then V2s take a little bit to warm up here, to connect. Green, green, green. There we go. We ran into Meijer, found some chicken strips at the deli. We're going to eat those when we hit the road. Looks like we got up to 84%. By the time we got out of the restroom, it was already saying we had enough to continue the trip. So we're going to be good here. There's charges along the way if we get too adventurous, but I'm not worried about it. We're going to have lunch and keep moving. 84, 12, 13, 71 degrees. Let's hit the road. Well, we just had a perfect stop in Traverse. Chicken strips from the deli counter, or whatever they call it, were fantastic. Joan went right to them, pointed to what she wanted. So I just doubled up on an order of that, and we each got 3. And they were very good. Less than $8. I know it's still kind of fast food, but better than going to one of the fast food stops. We were going to follow Highway 31. That was going to get us to the coast faster. So we started down it, but then I saw a road construction sign saying there's a bridge out, so we wouldn't actually be able to continue down to our campsite. So game plan is to just follow the Tesla routing. We will eventually get to the coast. We should be ready to go check in to our campsite. And we're going to put up a little bigger tent for tonight, since we're there for a couple nights. And it'll just give us time to play. We're going to be right on the lake at that spot, so should be cool. And we can just kind of chill out for the evening. Right now it's saying 2 hours, 21 minutes to the campsite, but again, we're probably going to stop along the way. It's estimating we'll get there with 32%. There's a supercharger in Muskegon, and I can't remember if this site or not, whether or not we can plug the car in, but I'm not worried about it at all. But I want to make sure Joan gets some swim time and some play time. Let's drive. Percent at 2:48, 83 degrees. We're in Muskegon, 151 miles. That took 2 hours and 33 minutes, and we're ready to get out and get some bug spray and then get to the campsite. We're at another Meijer. Into the restroom at the Meijer and got some bug spray. Got up to 69%. Nice. Let's go camp. 70% now. That was easy. currently parked at the campsite at 347, 62%, 71 Fahrenheit. It was only 17 miles, but it took a long time. Lots of stoplights. But we're here. Let's get that tent set up. It looks like the ocean. This is really nice sand. After getting set up, we had a nice afternoon on the beach. The water was cool, but the wind really made it cold. Back at the site, we had PB&J for dinner and went back to the beach for sunset. Someone kept trying to eat the sand, so we went back up to a great playground where she could work out some energy. As sunset got closer, most of the campers gathered on the beach or overlooks for the gorgeous West Coast display. We played a little more, then off to bed to be ready for the big Saturday meetup. And that's where we'll break it up for today. We're almost 40 minutes in, and this way, the Michigan Tesla Owners Summer Meetup can be its own piece, its own video, and that'll be coming out next. The stats so far on the trip are 819 miles from Minnesota to Muskegon, and we've done 5 supercharges over those 2 days, with the average stop time being 29.6 minutes. But like our drive times that you'll see in a second, there was some extra rigmarole in there, but that's just how family trips go. And we added that extra Muskegon supercharge just to make sure we had enough buffer through the weekend as other people were all coming into town. We didn't want to be low on charge. Our drive time total was 14 hours and 45 minutes, and that averaged out to be about 3 hours between each supercharge stop. And that again included, family adventures, exploring, a little bit of extra stuff, not complete drive time. And when we needed to charge, we also needed a break. So none of those stops, even the long one that I think was about 40 minutes, it didn't seem too long to be out of the car. And for only having one driver, it was a couple easy days of travel. So thanks for watching. I'll get that next video edited as soon as possible with the meetup, and then a lot more to come after that. Our drive home, then out to Colorado for a big weekend, and I can't wait to share that with you as well. Thanks again. Have a great day, and happy road tripping.